Hi, I'm Mary Beth McAndrews from Dread Central. I'm so excited to be chatting with you today and that we started our conversation about mug murder. It's incredible.
You got to start
On
somewhere.
exactly. Well, first off, congratulations on an incredible 2022 so far. You've been in Scream
Yeah,
and
thank you.
Smile. How's it feeling? How's it feeling about having two big movies out this year?
It's very cool, I mean, acting's a strange thing. It's like feast and famine, it's high highs and low lows, and it's like I've been doing it long
Yeah.
enough where I know that, so that's okay. And it's just nice. It's nice to be, in these things that people are watching. I mean, that's the other thing. There's so much content that
Yeah.
you put your heart and soul into so many things, and like nobody watches it. So to actually be in something that people are watching and enjoying, and they're going to the movie theaters to watch it, you know what I mean? And it's
It's
not a
cool.
superhero movie. Like it's cool.
Yes.
It's very cool.
Well, especially with Smile, like it's such a huge success and it's such an incredible thing for horror,
Yeah.
especially to have it be so successful. And so I'm curious, like, what attracted you to being a part of the script for Smile, especially in such an incredible role that you have in the film?
Um, I got sent the script, and that's obviously sort of where you
Yeah.
start. I mean, you see who's involved, which, sometimes
Yeah.
can be a no-brainer. And I got sent Parker's short. I watched his short. That the movie's based on. I really like the short. So I was like, oh, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. And I read the script, and it was that sort of thing where I'm like, how is this gonna end? How does this end? Because
Yeah.
I think that's gonna really determine things one way or the other. And then I got to the ending and I was like, there it is. And I really loved that he stuck to his guns with the ending and just made it this brutal ending, and that, the studio kept with it and let him do that. And I just really enjoyed it. I thought the role for Sosi was an amazing role for an actress to have, and I thought it was a really interesting role. And I liked the relationship between me and her character.
Yeah.
Um, so there was a lot to dig into and just enjoy about the script. And
Yeah.
luckily, luckily they let me be in it.
What was perhaps the most challenging part about being in this movie? Because it's intense. Like the whole thing is just a very emotionally intense movie. And
Yeah,
so what did you find was the most difficult part about being in Smile?
yeah. I mean, Sosi definitely got the brunt of all of that.
Yeah.
Me and her actually talked about it, and kind of the idea behind our relationship was like, okay, this is a chance to lighten things up a little bit. You have these two people.
Yeah.
Oh, and also the challenge of creating all of this history between these two people without having time to really dig into it. So how do you do that? So me and Sosie had a lot of conversations about that and how we wanted to treat the relationship. And, the idea was, okay, it's just going to be two people that like drive each other fucking crazy. They know each other super well. They know everything about each other. So as soon as she walks into his apartment, it's like, oh my God, what do you want? You know what I mean? Like I would do anything for you, but you drive me
Yeah.
crazier than anybody I've ever met. You know what I mean? And like how do you and that was sort of how we decided to build the history between the two of them. And I think that added some levity here and there, and gave them somewhere to go,
Yeah.
for him to really be concerned about Rose and really realize something's wrong. So the challenge was, creating that much history with that little time.
Yeah. I always am so fascinated with that because I feel like you guys do a really good job of portraying that history without an exposition dump. And it's really the chemistry between the two of you is really interesting with that.
Well, that's nice. And what I also liked is there isn't an exposition dump where,
Yeah.
she didn't walk in my apartment. I was like, well, the last time I saw you in September when you tore my heart out, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it doesn't get into that,
Yeah.
which I think is great.
Yeah. So I also wanted to bring up a film that you were in recently called Dinner in America, which is a
Hell
smaller
yeah.
movie, but that movie's incredible. And I just wanted to talk a little bit more about it just because people talking about you in Smile and in Scream, but what about because Dinner in America just came to Hulu Hulu recently, correct?
Recently,
So
yeah.
I just wanted to hear more from you about your experience with that movie. And I mean, shooting this a much smaller indie project and being a part of something so different. It's not horror, but it's something gorgeous.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like it's not horror, but it's genre adjacent. Like
Yeah.
it really resonates with like the horror crowd. It's pretty funny.
It was at a bunch of genre film festivals too. I
Dude,
was like,
and
it's not a
like
horror movie,
and
but
like
like it's
crushed
basically
them and did great.
we've just considered it horror at this point now.
Rock and roll, you know what I mean? Um, I love that film. That film has been a labor of love. I mean, that film has been almost 3 years and trying to get it out.
Yeah.
Um, we were in the final Sundance before the pandemic. We were in competition. It played really, really well.
Yeah.
And then we played all over the world and festivals and won all sorts of awards. And, we got great reviews, but like nobody would touch us. It was so crazy.
So
But like
weird.
the Vimeo link that only a few people are supposed to have all of a sudden is like racked up to like 3,000-4,000 views. And we were like this dirty little secret being passed around that nobody even with Hulu, like I'm super appreciative of them picking us up, but like we had to even everything was just this uphill battle. Nobody would
Yeah.
pick us up for release. The people that picked us up and released us on Blu-ray were actually the people that ended up that actually produced the film and then decided to get into distribution. So like that's why we even got distribution. I think there
Wow.
were a couple offers, but they just weren't really
Yeah.
great. And so once distribution went really well, and for a little indie film, then Hulu came along, was like, okay, cool. It's been like we've had to prove ourselves at every turn with this film. And it's like
Yeah.
it's been so maddening because to me, it's truly one of my favorite things I've ever been a part of. And I really do think, and I'm very honest, I'll list you 10 movies right now that I've done that I think are garbage. Um, but like this one, I really do think it really resonates with people. And I mean, I have people messaging me, they're like, I've watched it 15 times and they're being serious, you know, and I hope people discover it. I hope people find it. I hope it continues to grow. It's a very strange feeling now because it's over.
Yeah.
Like for years, we were kind of being able to hang on to this sort of secret thing, and now it's
Yeah.
over, where you're kind of sad, but also happy that people can watch it. You hope they watch it. I think it's a special film with a really
Yeah.
great message and relationship. And, you got to just buckle up for that first 20 minutes,
Hell yeah.
you know?
Cool. And so I've been watching you in horror since I was in high school. I saw Haunting in Connecticut in theaters. We'll say whatever we want about that movie, but like I
I like
love
that
you.
movie.
I had loved that movie from the beginning. I saw when I saw you in that movie in Jennifer's Body. It's been so cool to kind of watch you go through horror as I've kind of grown up and got into horror. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to hear from you, like, in being in so many horror movies for so long, what have you kind of been your something you've noticed that's changed positively about the genre that you've been really excited about seeing?
Oh, I think people within the industry have started to change their tune about it, which is great. Back in the day when I was
Yes.
doing Haunting Connecticut or Nightmare on Elm Street, which is its own, we can
Yeah,
have a,
that's
we
all.
can have a we can have a whole other conversation about that. The podcasts that hate that movie have brought me so much joy for the last 10 years. It is so funny to me.
I did talk about that movie on
Dude,
my
I
podcast.
listen to them. I listen to all of them and laugh. I think it's very funny. Um, like for real, not just like out of a weird bitterness. I truly, truly love it. I think it's so funny. But anyway, that again, that could be a whole other
That's a
conversation.
whole other conversation.
But, but no, like, back in the day, it was like I was a lead in a studio film. I was a lead in a studio film doing these things, but nobody cared because they were horror movies.
Yeah.
And now you could launch your entire career off of a horror movie, which I mean, look at Sosie. Sosie's kicking ass off of
Yeah.
Smile, and it's doing so much for her, which deservedly so. She's incredible in it. For people to sit there and say the performance is less than because it's a is insane. So to see the industry having more respect for the genre. And I think also because of that, it's becoming more mainstream in a way. So you're having
Yeah.
more and more people discover horror films or not be like so kind of standoffish about watching them, which I think is really cool because I really do think some of the most unique storytelling is within the genre. I think back in the day, people
Yes.
heard horror movies and just thought like splatter film, everybody getting their throats slit and disemboweled or whatever. But there's so much to it. There's so many. It spider webs off into so many different directions. So it's really nice to see the conversation around the genre changing. And also, I think studios are realizing like other than superhero movies, this is one of the most reliable genres you can have, and we don't have to make them for $250 million. You know what I mean?
Exactly. People love being scared in a movie theater. It
They
doesn't
love
matter
it
how, it
because
doesn't matter if you love horror movies or not. You always go to the theater to
the
see it because it's fun.
the
It's just like,
distance between laughter and fear
yes.
is this big. You know what I mean? So it's the same sort of endorphins. It's the same sort of thing. It gives you that same sort of thing as laughing. So it
Yeah.
it is fun. It's one of the most fun movie going experiences you can have. I mean, I still remember going to see Freddy versus Jason in a packed fucking movie theater, and everybody was so hyped and so excited. I mean, that's not the scariest film in the world, but
But
like
it's
I
like the
but I
community of that
remember
though.
how fun it was, just
Yes.
how much fun it was, you know.
Everyone's
So
hooting and hollering and just like it's Freddie and Jason on the same screen together.
it's a
Like even if it's not
ruckus.
scary, everyone's excited to
It's
be
a
there. And
ruckus. It's
it's
so
incredible.
fun. I mean,
Yes.
look at um um what is it? The sequel, Art the Clown.
Oh, Terrifier 2.
Terrifier 2. I mean, look at what that's doing right now. That's insane.
I can't even like
It's amazing.
it's so cool.
It's
It's like I can't even believe it.
so cool. And so like congratulations to all them. That's amazing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it's what the fans wanted. So I hope the studios are paying attention, and I hope they're listening, and I hope everybody's watching and they want to take swings on more studio horror films because
Yeah.
people show up. People
Yeah.
want to go,
Oh yeah. Would
you
you
know?
ever direct a horror film?
Um, I wrote one.
Oh, that's cool.
That's all I can say.
Oh, okay. Well, that's exciting to hear. We'll keep an eye on whatever that means, but
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. Keep an eye out. Keep an eye.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
fairy dust in the air,
There it
but
is. Okay.
whatever that even means. But I one day maybe I've considered directing now that I've gotten older and kind of more confident in my craft and my abilities and things like that. I always grew up thinking acting was all I ever wanted to do because that's what I love to do. And really at
Yeah.
the end of the day, that is my thing.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know, maybe one day. I think it would be cool. I think I love working with actors. I love actors in general. And I think it would be really fun to work really intimately with actors and pull a performance out and create a picture and put it all together. So, never say never, but we'll see.
Cool.
Somebody's got to be willing to let me do it, I guess.
Cool. Well, I'm excited for whenever that happens, and I'll be keeping an eye out. I have to
Appreciate it.
wrap up, but Kyle, thank you
Okay.
so much for chatting with me today
Yeah,
about horror and
absolutely.
Smile. It's awesome, and thank you so much.
Send me your shit posting Nightmare on Elm Street
I will. I'll shoot it your way.
podcast.
Yeah, I'll shoot it your way. I'll DM it to you on Twitter. I think we follow each other
Hell
on
yeah.
Twitter.
I think we
Okay.
do. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Bye. Thank you so much.
Later. Talk to you later.